welcome to Comic Toy Reviews, and this review is on Arnim Zola. He is the Build-A-Figure on the Return of Marvel Legends Wave 2. You needed 6 parts to build him, and the final result is this action figure. And before I get to the review and the history of the character, I'm going to show you a size comparison between some characters. This is Bucky Cap, for example. Or we got Spider-Man over here. So overall, he is an average size character. And he's not super big or super tall or anything like that. Just ordinary size for a character. And he is a unique sculpt. You know, Hasbro likes to reuse parts, but this figure is all new. The 6 parts that make him up are one for the head here, his control rod, the torso. That's the second part. 3rd and 4th are the arms, and parts 5 and 6 are the legs. And you need 6 figures, but there's a variant of the Red Skull. The centerpiece here is the Red Skull on the other one, and the eyepiece here is red instead of yellow. But the rest of the body is the same, and that takes place from a comic book storyline where Arnim Zola, to save the Red Skull, put him in a Arnim Zola type body. Before I get into why this character is so great, a little history about comic books and Marvel, and who created this character is Jack Kirby. As you might know, Marvel, 1960s, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby created most of the Marvel universe that we know. Anyway, Kirby in the early 70s, he went to DC Comics, created the 4th World, but he didn't last long at DC Comics. He reluctantly returned to Marvel because they were the only game in town, and he did not want to work with Stan Lee. Stan Lee wasn't running the books then or writing it, and he had little to do with the company. So when Jack Kirby returned in the 70s, he basically wanted to do his own books. He didn't want to collaborate with anyone. And one of the few books that he was willing to return to was Captain America. And when he returned to Captain America in the 70s, one of the characters he made was this guy, Arnim Zola. He's a World War II genetics, one of those typical mad scientist types. And he has clones and genetics and robotics and knows all of that stuff. And he also knows guys like the Red Skull, Hydra, Baron Strucker, Baron Zemo. All of those bad guys he's a part of. So if you got those figures, this guy's an ally of them. And one of the things I really like about this character is, before I show you the details, this looks like a great representation of the art of Jack Kirby. In terms of how Jack Kirby was an artist in style, this character, I think, follows his type of artwork. Like, this was based on his artwork. One thing to notice is the chest is Ed McGuinness in art, but that's cool. I mean, it does sort of have a Kirby type look to it, I think. It does look like a Jack Kirby based sculpt in how they made this. Even this little like control rod weapon that Zola has, this was Kirby in design, and they even replicated it here. And really they didn't have to. It's not such a popular piece to have. And you just look at the style here, and just one of the most bizarre characters when you look at it. I remember taking a look at this guy, and it's like, when I originally saw him, it was like, is his face in his stomach? Absolutely. I mean, that's just one of those wild imagination ideas. Like, who thinks of stuff like this? You know, and you got like some square piece where his head should be, and just look at this. It looks so bizarre, and yet it's so appropriate for a comic book, right? I mean, just a great piece here. This is also one of the Kirby characters from the 70s that really did find a place in the Marvel Universe. Not all of his stuff that he did found a place in the Marvel Universe, but This guy has been a reoccurring character in the Captain America books, so it's really nice to have this type of figure for your collection. A couple of things I'd like to note here. You could check out how it's sort of like baggy in the arms here, just a nice detail. You could see here the legs have all of these lines like bands going around it. It's all sculpted detail. This part a little bit, symbols here, it's a little raised. It's not just painted on. This part area, it's raised in Sculpt, and he also has it in the back here. There's some little detail in the back here, and you could see in terms of the sculpt right here, all detailed over here. Might be tough to see, but even the glove area got some sculpt detail lines on it. For a Build-A-Figure, I like this better than Terax in Wave 1 because I noticed Villain more versatile in how you could have him teamed up with the Red Skull and Hydra and things like that, so it works better, I think. Just a great character. And I'm going to show you the articulation. This headpiece, side to side, can go up and down a bit. Shoulder blades, ball jointed, can go in and out, can go up and down. Slight restriction in terms of the sculpt here on the top. One point of articulation at the elbow, and it does turn in and out. It's a ball hinge type thing. No articulation over here by the area there, but there is wrist articulation, so you can go in, out, and you can spin it around. Same deal here, can go in, out, you can spin it around. This has a open style grip, and this little thing or whatever fits right in his hand. Perfect grip. This right hand is open. I like that style because it's kind of like an evil type of pose he could set it up for, having his hand like that. The stomach here, picture of Arnim Zola. I know it's weird, right? Side to side articulation. As you'd imagine, there is no upper ab crunch or anything like that. This looks like a plastic on top of the artwork. Not glass, but like a plastic piece. You can take it out. Well, maybe if you could really pry it open if you wanted to, but it's not meant to be opened, so it's just like that. He has a type of skirt thing here, but the way it's designed, it doesn't get in the way of the ball jointed articulation side to side. Up and down is real nice. He even has a upper thigh cut here, because that's where the figure part connected. Has a double knee right here above the boot area, articulation point. Right at the feet, up and down, and got side to side. Check that out. Got the up and down, and he does have the side to side articulation. And even the boots here is pretty detailed in the sculpt right there, even if the bottom isn't detailed. The side here is. Overall, the Build-A-Figure of Wave 2 of the Return of Marvel Legends by Hasbro of Arnim Zola. I think it's a great character. I found it to be an unusual choice. I didn't think this type of character, who's not too popular, would actually get an action figure. So the fact that he got an action figure is a surprise. It's an all-new sculpt. They didn't reuse parts to make this figure, as Hasbro likes to do a lot. It does look like the art of Kirby, I think. It really captured the style and the art of Kirby. He's a good villain for the Avengers, or Captain America in particular. Hangs out with other bad guys in the Marvel Universe. So he fits that category well. And this character is mostly for comic book fans or real collectors who are serious into Marvel. Not a must-get character, but if you're a Marvel fan or Captain America fan, I think it's a nice addition to any collection. Overall, a great figure. And thanks for watching. and talk to you later. Yes, Bucky Cap. When the real Captain America returns, you will destroy him.